What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. You are now home with Dodgers Nation and Jim B. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers get the dub in extra innings. They beat the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 3-2. Your boys in blue improved to 96-59 on the year. They're 14 games up on the Arizona Diamondbacks, 19.5 games up on the Padres and the San Francisco Giants. And hey, this Giants team, they ended their season. This season is going to be done. SF stands for season finish. And we're going to talk about the defensive plays tonight. Lots of defensive gems. You look at that 10th inning, the spectacular play there by Chris Taylor. The double play, what a pick there by Freddie Freeman to keep them alive, to really put them in a position to get this walk-off. And Chris Taylor, just second pitch, he ends things. Taylor Swift, that's in the news right now. That was a Swift walk-off second pitch. We know there's bad blood between this Giants team and this Dodgers team. Saw what happened a few years ago. What a win by your Los Angeles Dodgers. We're going to talk about Lance Lynn's start. Got some big takeaways from that. I thought Lance Lynn was much better. We're going to talk about why I think that he's someone that you shouldn't sleep on in the postseason, what he can bring that some of these other Dodgers pitchers do not have. I think it was another great night for J.D. Martinez, who continues to impress. J.D. Martinez continues to make his case for being someone that should be batting higher in the order once the postseason rolls around. I thought JD was fantastic once again. He had a double. Two doubles to the RBI, hit one off Wood, one off Beck. J.D. Martinez ends up going 2 for 4 on the night. Talk about the spectacular defense from Mookie Betts, from David Peralta, from Jason Hayward. I mean, this team is ready for October. They get their 7th walk-off win of the year. But first things first, you know we have to ask you, where are you representing Dodgers Nation from today? Give me those cities. Give me those zip codes. Give me those area codes. Let me know where you're repping your boys in blue. And today was the last home game of the regular season. Hopefully we'll have a lot more home games in the postseason, but can you believe it? It's the last home game of the regular season, and you guys support your boys in blue like no other. Led the league in attendance once again. The Dodgers finished the regular season with a Dodgers Stadium attendance of 3.837079. It's almost 4 million. That's the 5th largest in club history. Just want to point out that without me, I went to 42 games this year. That would have been 3,837,037. But hey, gotta support your boys in blue. In a down year, in a transition year, you guys absolutely showed up and showed out. But let's dive in the comments section. We'll continue to break this one down, but hey, it feels good. SF stands for season finish. The San Francisco Giants, as we like to call them around here. Hey, this Dodgers team, they had nothing to really play for other than just wanting to beat this team. We know what's at stake for this Dodgers team and what their sights are set on. But hey, great to get a win. But let's go down below. We got Alabama from Cheapno. We got 325.82. We got Hell Yeah from Justin Kim. We got I Work for Swelling Sausage. We got 562 Long Beach in the House from JS. We got La Puente from Matthew over on YouTube. How's it going? We got 93015 Fillmore Avocado Orchard. We got Camille from Mar Vista. Bonnie B from Stan Inez. We got DKM in the house. What's up, DKM? By the way, first thing I'm looking for is who is your Dodgers dog of the game. Now, it doesn't mean who's your player of the game. We'll get into that in a little bit. Who's your Dodgers dog of the game? Because there you go to Lance Lynn. He was pretty gritty. Gave the home run, but could go J.D. Martinez, but I think you got to go Chris Taylor. CT3 giving the Dodgers not just the walk-off win, but the athleticism on that double play earlier in that inning to set up that walk-off. I thought he was fantastic. CT3 having himself a phenomenal bounce-back year as far as compared to last season. I think you look at the year that Chris Taylor's had, started off slow, but he really picked it up offensively, and I think for what he brings to this team, I feel good about the year that he's had, and those are the kind of moments you're going to get from Chris Taylor in the postseason. That's the guy that hit 3 home runs in an NLCS game. That's the kind of guy that hit a walk-off shot in the wild card game against the St. Louis Cardinals, and you look at the year he's had, he's above average, a 105 weighted runs created plus, and home runs 15, 54 RBI, but you just feel good about the year he's had compared to last year. He looks like a different guy now that he's healthy. And he also said a few weeks ago that he found something in his cage work that unlocks something for him at the plate mechanically, and you're seeing better at-bats, more quality at-bats from Chris Taylor, hitting the ball harder of late, so that's definitely a positive sign as we inch towards the postseason. But who is your Dodgers dog of the game? I'm going with my man Chris Taylor. Taylor made. Got to go with CT3. We got the Washington State Red Dodger Blue from Sean Allen. We got, I think my
Dodger Dog of the Game.
There we go. We got the parade got canceled from B. Guzman, 562 in the house. We got season went by fast from Jason Diamond. Yeah, it really did. I don't know if it was the shorter game times, which definitely have had an impact on this team. We got John Gong Visalia, 559, and Sonata Baja Viva Los Dodgers. We got 562 Dodger fan Haley Thompson with some heart emojis. Yeah, definitely smash that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Smash that like button for a team with 9 rookie debuts, with so much youth and inexperience, with 47 plus starts from rookies, already eclipsed the 50 starts from rookies this season. You look at that number, they're still on pace to win 100 games. That's a testament to the depth of this organization, the development of their young players, and also Mr. Dave Roberts. And I definitely want to point something out that Dave Roberts said during the in-game interview, where he said managers get criticized a lot for in-game stuff, and that's something that's tangible. You can see I pride myself on culture, and it's relentless. It's day-to-day. It's ultimate positivity. How you do anything is how you do everything. And I just want to say, from being in that clubhouse throughout this season, I've seen that with my own eyes. I've seen Dave Roberts' infectious energy rub off on these young players. Anytime I ask James Albin, what's it like to play for Dave Roberts? No hesitation, love playing for Dave Roberts. They would run through a brick wall for Doc, because even at their lowest moments, it's easy to support your players when they're Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and talk about how great they are, but it's a whole other thing to stick with your guys when they're at their lowest points. And how many times last year did we see Max Muncy right next to Dave Roberts when he was dealing with that injury and recovering from that UCL and he was having himself a down season? How many times have we seen him stick up for his guys throughout the years? How many times have we seen him stick up for Lance Lynn, Clayton Kershaw of late when they didn't have their best starts or velocity? So he's someone that always has his players' best interests in mind. And I think you have to give Dave Roberts a lot of credit for things that don't show up on box scores, things that don't show up when you're looking at managerial records, and that is buy-in. And you look at a roster that, one, is a combination of veterans and young players. That might not mix for a lot of teams. I mean, some other rosters out there would have a lot of their veteran players just wanting to look out for themselves, look out for their numbers, and not want to take some of these younger guys under their wings. But no, it starts with Dave Roberts, and this team is a reflection of him. Guys like Jason Hayward being James Outman's mentor. Guys like JD Martinez early in the year working with a Miguel Vargas. Guys like Miguel Rojas and this whole team, how they've supported Gavin Lux in his recovery back to the diamond after dealing with that injury. I think there's a great chemistry. I think there's great camaraderie on this team. It's another big reason why I think this team is in a much better position to have success in the postseason this year versus the team last year. Last year, it felt like the Chat GPT Dodgers, right? It looked like Andrew Freeman typed in the prompt, give me an 111-win team, and that team popped out. And yes, you have a lot of those same characters and players from last year's team on this year's team. The foundation is similar with Mookie and Freddie, but I think the chemistry on this team is more organic and authentic. And like I've said early in the year, that this team, they feel like they're those guys, those coworkers that are your real friends. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know your coworkers that, yeah, you know, we'll kill time together. We're on the clock and this and that. We'll talk about what we watched on Netflix and the game last night, what we had for lunch and this and that. But you also know those coworkers that you're still friends with after you change and you have a new job, right? This is that kind of team. This is the kind of team that you hang out with these coworkers. You go to their events. You go get a beer with them at the bar. You want to go to their parties. And I definitely have felt that with this team, and I think it's going to pay dividends in the postseason. When you play for each other and their success is your success, that's when the results show up in the postseason. That's what we saw in 2020 when everyone was rooting for a Corey Seager to win NLCS and World Series MVP, and really just being led by a Mookie Betts. Here we go. Let's go back in the comment section, but let me ask you this question, though. Do you think that this team, because you might feel differently. I mean, this is not an echo chamber. You might not echo that sentiment there, because last year's team, they did win 111 games. Still had Julio Urias. You had Trey Turner, right? I mean, do you think that this year's team, though, is better equipped to have success in the postseason despite having less wins than last year's team? Let me know down below. East Los Angeles from Raymond Guzman, the Craig Osterberg from Lawndale, Go Blue, Roy Estrada, Chris Taylor, Rody97. That's your Dodger dog of the game. We got CT3 from Andrew Wall. Those are your Dodger dogs.
Dodger
of the
dog
game.
of
We got
the game.
Bonnie B. Martinez. We got CT3, CT3. Dodger dog is CT3, dog of the game. We got Swelling Sausage, Freeman for the scoop. So there we go. Yeah, Freddie Freeman, that scoop that he made there in the 10th inning. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, that was just a phenomenal play there, and it shows you why Freddie Freeman is someone that he's going to get down and dirty. He's not someone that's just going to live at the plate. He's a complete player. I think when you consider the intangibles, the professionalism, what he does, it rubs off on his teammates. I think you could add a 6 tool there. But, yeah, that double play was really outstanding there, and it really saved the day for the Dodgers because Shelby Miller, he comes into pitch, and we're going to rewind, too. We're going to talk about some of the earlier moments in this game. I definitely want to spotlight the defense in this one, but Shelby Miller, he comes in, and Shelby Miller has been great. He's been the Shelby Cobra out there on the mound, just getting it done, and he strikes out Davis on 3 pitches, 4-seam fastball. He gets him looking, and that's what you want to look at when you're watching Shelby Miller pitch, right? The thing that impresses me most is not the swing and miss, it's the freezes, right? Look for that when you watch him on the mound. Watch how he has this ability, this uncanny ability to get hitters to not swing, to freeze them. He makes them uncomfortable, so definitely look out for that, and he definitely achieves that there against Davis. And then they intentionally walk Peterson, and then Estrada, he singles to center, and Peterson advances to second, Haniger to third. So you got the bases loaded with no outs, and Bailey at the plate. 2-2 count. He fouls off the 5th pitch. Then on the 6th pitch of the at-bat, he grounds into the double play. Great athleticism by CT to find the ball, get it quick, make the exchange, put your foot right there on second base and fire a throw. And then that pick there by Freddie Freeman. That is why he's got that gold on that glove. Remember when Jose Ramirez last year said, hey, Freddie, go glove, Freddie. That's why he's got that gold glove, and he put it to use there. And then you jump to the bottom of the 10th inning. Dodgers facing Camilo Duvall, shades of the 2021 NLDS, and Rosario, he ran for Martinez. Slater was in right field. Wong, he fit for Hernandez. And by the way, I want to point out too, before that inning, I mean, Kike Hernandez, I was afraid I was going to come onto this show and you guys were going to be blasting Kike Hernandez, who let one get away because you just couldn't find him. I'm very curious to see what he told reporters after this one. The Estrada single there, really, I mean, he lost that one in the lights, and he was just trying to make a play and he couldn't identify the ball. So he would have been someone that was going to get heavy criticism tonight. Hopefully they can get things squared away before the postseason. But bottom of the 10th, you got Wong, he grounded to shortstop, a productive out because that gets Rosario to third, and then Chris Taylor, 0-1 pitch, cutter, 100 miles per hour, outer half. He singled to right to score Rosario to give the Dodgers the 3-2 lead. Chris Taylor, we call him Clutch Taylor around this neck of the woods. Chris Taylor has never done anything wrong in his entire life. And I'm telling you, throw out his records, throw out his stats, forget his splits. When the lights are bright and the postseason is here, he's a dangerous bat because he's got that moxie, man. He's got that competitive fire, that grit, and he's got that dog in him. But let's check this down below. Remember the question I asked you guys a few minutes ago. Do you think this team is better equipped to have success in the postseason compared to last year? If so, why? So we got Clutch Taylor from Raymond Guzman, rooting from Vietnam. What a Ren over in Vietnam. M. Billy, Giants were supposed to win. CT3D from Jay Silva. Diane Schroeder, I hope you all enjoyed this game. Closing in on another 100-win season. Jason Diamond. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember when everyone before the season started and we had the live show and I said the Dodgers would win 97 games and I was being called a homer, saying that I had those Dodger blue tinted glasses. Looks like they're going to exceed that, and I could not be happier for this team because a 100-win season I think would mean a lot to this organization considering everything that they've been through, not just on the field, off the field. You saw what happened with Julio Urias, your opening day starter, someone who would have been a starter earlier in his postseason series. You lose him. You have Dustin May and Tony Gonson goes down. Thor was an absolute bust. And you got to give a lot of credit to this organization, because if they did not focus and make the farm system the priority when the Guggenheim Group took over from Frank McCourt, who basically was terrible for this franchise and went bankrupt, right? If it wasn't for the emphasis on this farm system, you would not have had a year like this. This team would have been in the postseason. This would have been a wasted year, but instead, choices that were made a decade ago, more than a decade ago, have helped this team today. So, yeah, you should be proud of this Dodgers organization, because this sustained success, you're talking about 11 straight years in the postseason. That's not normal. Before they took over, the Dodgers had never made it to the postseason in consecutive seasons, and now they're just third behind the 90s Braves and early 2000s Yankees for most consecutive postseason appearances. So what this organization has done when it comes to consistency and stability, we're in the golden age of Dodger baseball. We just need to add a couple more commissioners' trophies. We got Canoga Park is where I'm standing. What up, DKM? Yes, Fire Roberts tonight. That's from Swelling Sausage. Yeah, we can't go a show without a Fire Roberts, even if he is someone who's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Yeah, here a couple thoughts on Dave Roberts, too, before we kind of continue here. Dave Roberts, if they win 100 games, you're talking about 104 wins there in 2017, 106 wins, franchise record there in 2019. 2020, 43 wins. That team was on pace to win 116 games. Probably wouldn't have done that, but they would have absolutely 1,000% have won at least 100. That would have given them 3 at that point. 2021, 106 wins. 2022, 111 wins. So you're talking about this could have been his 6th 100-win season, right, in 8 years. That would have already tied Bobby Cox for the most of all time, okay? Just put that into perspective right there. If Dave Roberts wins another World Series, he's going to go into the Hall of Fame. Just think about that before you say fire Dave Roberts. That's all I have to say. Recuperating from surgery, Dodgers walk it off, and DCAM both have recuperative powers for some. I love this Dodgers team from Jay Silva. What up, Jay Silva? I appreciate it. That's a fire tag. By the way, any Giants trash talk, I'm here for it.
Finish him.
That's what the Dodgers did to them. They finished them.
Finish him.
Season finished. Dave Roberts has to be manager of the year from Victor Banos, Alvis Hayes, Fremont, California. The trolls saying fire Dave Roberts don't have anyone better to put out there. Don't worry, you'll hear the Mike Scioscia. That's coming any day now. D-Mac with the facts. What up, hey, Jim Griffey Jr.? How you been, my man? Haven't seen you in a minute. SF equals season finished. Dave Roberts, manager of the year. We got, hopefully, they don't choke again. The playoffs, like most other years, have to win a real ring to get the Giants fans to shut up Swelling Sausage. Look, I think you're saying the truth out loud a little bit. Okay, I want to give you credit there, Swelling Sausage. And then, look, I think a lot of you fans out there, including myself, that still hold the 2020 World Series near and dear to my heart, I think we want a parade, right? I think we want to see a sold-out Dodgers Stadium in the World Series when they actually win the entire thing at home, right? Let's just be honest here. Yes, we know it was unique circumstances, and it's not like the Dodgers, they played who was in front of them. They won. They had to win 2 more games. It was unique. They won that title, but as far as his overall satisfaction, this franchise has not won a World Series in that stadium since they beat the Yankees there in 1963. You want to see that. I know you do. And I think you bring up a great point. Dave Roberts is a great coach and should be in talks for Coach of the Year. Come on, guys. 200. Yeah, definitely smash that like button. Like I said, congratulations to the winner of the authentic Mookie Betts jersey. If you want to qualify for all of our giveaways, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have those notification bells on. And also hit that like button. Helps us in the algorithm. And the better the channel does, which is the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel, the #1 Dodgers postgame show, you're going to get more giveaways. Talking jerseys, talking autographed baseballs, talking about who knows. Let me know down below in the comment section. What are things you want to see me do giveaways on, and we'll make it happen. What would you guys want me to give away? Let me know down below. Kenneth Wolcott, Dodgers walk-off in Sunday night. D-Mac, best way to recover from surgery. Thanks, D-Mac, for wishing me all well last Tuesday. Yeah, I hope you're doing great, my man. We appreciate you always. We got Magic, Rojas, the GOAT on defense. Yeah, Magic. Look, I think Miguel Rojas has just really brought a lot of stability this year in a year where it was important to have a glove-first shortstop if you want to really focus on that side and you have the offense that they have. I personally think that Gavin Lux was going to possibly be a fringe all-star. I think he was going to hit close to 300. I think he was going to play well on defense. And I think that Gavin Lux is someone who is going to be the long-term shortstop of the future. And I still think this team's ceiling is higher with Gavin Lux on the lineup. And I hope that Gavin Lux is going to come back. But with him out, to overcome that, man, this team, and I'll tell you this team is rallying around that, but to overcome that, you really have to give this team a lot of credit for what they've been able to do. And I think defensively, Miguel Rojas has been fantastic out there for this Dodgers team. And you look at Miguel Rojas on the year, when it comes to the range, he's in the 91st percentile and outs above average. And I thought it was hilarious when he was mic'd up there in the second inning. And how funny was that? Did you guys catch that with Miguel Rojas? He's mic'd up there, and he couldn't have been cooler. Shout to Stuart Scott. He was cooler than the other side of the pillow. And the late, great Stuart Scott, by the way. And I thought it was really cool to see him out there doing that. And when he grounded to the Estrada, Estrada grounded to shortstop, he grounds, says, okay, I got to make this play. Hold on. And boom, makes a play and gets right back to the mic'd up. But yeah, let's go with some big takeaways and start talking about Lance Lynn. Give me your grade for Lance Lynn. I have some thoughts on Lance Lynn coming up, but let's read some more comments here, and then we'll continue to break this one down. Some thoughts on Gavin on Lance Lynn. Braves first round exit. We got, yes, the team comes off as a true team. Last year's felt very robotic from Camille Harris. CT3 DDOTG, Dodge Dog of the game. Ray Brio's perfect time for the Dodgers to get hot again. That's a fire take. That's a fire take. You're seeing this team starting to, I think you want to see a little more consistency up and down the lineup, but Mookie starting to slug again. Freddie continues to be consistent. JD Martinez, I think you want to have him continue to stay hot because he's been outstanding since returning from the IL, already up to 31 home runs. You're talking about someone who would have really been in the MVP mix potentially when you look at his offensive output. Who knows if he had stayed healthy, right? But yeah, honestly, we got Phillies taking out the Braves in post. Yeah, look, I would not be surprised. I mean, baseball gets really weird, right? It gets really weird in the postseason. And I think for this team, you want to see the Braves, but hey, if may the best team win, and you just can't count any of these teams out, especially a Phillies team that feels like they're built for the postseason. When you got Nola, when you got Wheeler, when you got Bryce Harper, Trey Turner has really turned it up of late. Really happy for Trey performing better, and you also have a bullpen that has high velocity, and that is what plays up is a high velocity bullpen that can miss bats. So they check off a lot of box there in Philly, and I think that that's a team that believes too. 8 division titles, more like 8 failures. I wouldn't say that, Team Ruiz, because in this stretch, they've won 10 out of 11. And if you look at the annals of history, usually on average, I looked it up, I spent a long time doing this, basically is when you win a division title, of those teams that have won in history, you basically have like 1 in 9 chance of those division titles turning into a World Series title. So if the Dodgers get credit for 2017, basically on pace to have more than average. But still, I agree. This team, I call them the incomplete elite. I think you need another World Series title to really can just say that, okay, this is the model franchise. I think they're one of the model franchises, along with the Braves, the Astros. I think, considering what they've done, I don't necessarily put them there, but still, you can't deny their success. But I think the Dodgers are right up there. John Blaze, a very sad individual. Dodgers bullpen is top. CT3 is the Dodger dog of the game. Yeah, this bullpen has turned around all season long. The defense, too, is something that has really improved as the season has gone along, and you saw that evidence today. I want to point out this defense was phenomenal. You had the league they were 22nd in baseball in outs above average towards the beginning of the year. Now they're 3rd collectively in outs above average. So they've gone from one of the worst defensive teams in the sport to one of the best during the course of the year. And I think the reason for that, Mookie, see him at second base at times. He's someone that has 4 defensive runs saved as a second baseman. You saw him play shortstop. You've seen Freddie Freeman perform well. James Outman improved. David Peralta. And then tonight, Miguel Rojas makes that nice play. Mookie in the 5th inning. Are you kidding me? Marcus Lynn Betts, those plays he made, the J.D. Davis ground out on this shortstop, and just to make that, to field that, have the presence there, make that throw. That was 107.5 miles per hour off the bat, had a 490 expected batting average. And in that same inning, Jock Peterson, he hits a ground ball, and he makes the diving stop there towards Freddie Freeman, makes the throw. So 2 incredible plays. I like what Brandon Crawford said during the broadcast where Mookie made that look way too easy. So, yeah, he's on another level. Got to give him a lot of credit. I think his ability to play second base and put the Dodgers in a position to have their best lineup and to optimize guys like Peralta, Hayward, and James Outman there against right-handed pitchers. I think it's been phenomenal what he's done defensively. So give him a lot of credit. But Lance Lynn tonight, let's talk about Lance Lynn, because I do have one thing I want to say is about I do have a little concern that we're going to get into in a little bit. A little bit of a concern. We're going to get into that in a little bit here, but I'll read some more comments here. It's a walk-off, so we're feeling really, really good about this one. But we got, am I the only one that wants the Padres to make it so we can beat them in the playoffs? Look, it's extremely unlikely. I mean, there's a better chance that I'm going to date Taylor Swift than I think the Padres are going to make it to the postseason, right? So, I mean, it's just not going to happen. So, look, you're talking about a 0.3% chance. But D-Mac, send me money. Jay Silva, I'm curious to see if the Braves will blow another 3-1 series lead this postseason. Alejandro Gonzalez, I feel like we'll do good against the wild card and Brewers. But Braves, I don't know if I'm being honest. Alejandro Gonzalez, look, I think we have to take it one series at a time, one game at a time, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I will say, you look back at 2021, and there's some differences. There's no doubt about it. Max Scherzer, the dead arm issues. I think the Dodgers were so all in there in that NLDS. It went to 5 games. It was really a grueling series that, yeah, you kind of maxed out. And then you're also coming off a season where you were chasing that Giants team all season long. You won 106 games, and you still didn't win the division, right? You also had to play a wild card game. So I think at that point in the season, the bullpen was taxed. The team, I think the tank was a little empty coming off that World Series win there in 2020. But let's not forget, on the road, they could have taken both those games. I mean, Austin Riley gets that hit off of Blake Treinen. You bring in Julio Urias in one of those games. Chris Taylor has a base running blunder. I mean, they just were overmatched kind of against that bullpen for stretches there. But they could have easily taken both those games. Probably should have 100% at least split. And as the cast of characters is similar from that Braves team to this Dodgers team in this year that we're seeing. So we also saw the Dodgers take 2 out of 3 in Atlanta. You saw the Braves take 3 of 4 against the Dodgers in LA. I don't think home field advantage is going to be that important. I think for young pitchers like the Sheehan's, like the Millers, you're going to want to adjust. But I do like the contrasting styles that this team can throw at the Braves. When you talk about veterans that can hit their spots, you got rookies that throw heat. Let's just run with it and let's see what happens. And we saw that heat play up, especially against their sluggers. But yeah, I mean, look, the Braves are a great team. Marlins just swept them, right? So at the beginning of the year, everyone said Bobby Miller wasn't ready. Now he's the ace. That's a fire take from Nando. I think we're more equipped just based on the fact that expectations are not as high as before. The fact that they don't have that on their backs will let them play with clear minds. Dubs. I think you bring up a really good point. That's a fire take as well. Also give it a Cornito's comment of the game is that, yeah, last year, talk about the highest expectations of all time for this Dodgers franchise. You win 111 games, a franchise record. That Dodgers team last year, I hate to say this, but you guys know that I'm not just trying to be a sunshine pumper here. Reality isn't always rainbows, as I like to say. And last year's team, they're going to be in the conversation of one of the most disappointing teams in baseball history because they're the only team to win 110-plus games and not even make it to the league championship series, right? I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, that's not a take. That's a fact. I bring my facts to the fight here. And I think that you talk about the mounting pressure with the layoff that was new because of the expanded postseason. Then you're matching up against that Padres team that was on fire coming off that Mets series win, and they wanted to beat the Dodgers so bad and slay the dragon. Also, you're talking about a bullpen this year that I think is better than the bullpen last year. I mean, you had Tommy Kahnle, who did look good during certain stretches when he returned, but he missed a lot of time after coming back from Tommy John surgery. Yancy Almonte looked shaky when he was back. Alex Vesia, I think they learned something about Vesia and how to use him, when to use him, and if they're even going to use him at all, right? I think that this bullpen with Shelby Miller and Joe Kelly and Evan Phillips in the role that he's in, which I'll talk about him a little bit. I have some thoughts on Evan Phillips. I think this bullpen is in a much better position right now to have success. I think this lineup is deeper and better. I mean, frankly, you had Trace Thompson, where is Trace Thompson right now? Okay, Trace Thompson went back to being Klay Thompson's brother, right? He was starting in center field. Cody Bellinger forgot how to baseball. I mean, you did not have good at-bats up and down that line, but the offense really struggled because of it. Now I think this offense, with the influx of talent, you insert J.D. Martinez. You have a bounce-back Chris Taylor, a bounce-back Max Muncy. David Peralta, yes, I know his numbers have been down the last few months, but he's someone who's going to go up there and has those bat-to-ball skills, the contact is king type mindset to put the ball in play and make things happen. Jason Hayward, you have veterans on this team. So I'm feeling a lot better about this team. Kike Hernandez, you want to tell me that you don't want to see Kike at the plate in a pressure situation? We're talking about Kike Hernandez, who Game 7 home run, right, off Minter. How about 3 home runs in the clincher against the Cubs? How about when he went crazy with the Red Sox a few years ago? I mean, Keektober is a thing, okay? Keektober is a thing. Apparently, I just said it. Top to bottom, this Dodgers team is tops from Jay Silva. Hey, Doug, when do we start talking about Ohtani again? Justin Lombas, man, you had to try to get me to talk about Ohtani. I just dropped a video about Shohei a few days ago, and right now, the focus is on the postseason. Jose Aloy says Dodgers.com. Anthony, where'd I get this shirt at? I got a shirt during spring training at one of the games. Dodgers fan just blocked the Braves troll. You can't see his sorry takes. Okay, I'll look for him. We'll have a block party. You guys have a Sunday night block party for a walk-off win. But yeah, let's grade your Lance Lynn performance. Cobra Commander Brazier for closer. Yeah, you got Brazier there, who's been phenomenal. Ryan Brazier, who, like I said, I'm not a big victory lap guy. No one loves the I told you so guy. But you guys know that before he ever pitched a single inning for the Dodgers, I said, you're going to like this Ryan Brazier guy because he misses barrels. They're going to teach him that cutter. It's exactly what they did. He's had success. Boston, 20 games this season. Ryan Brazier, 20 games with the Boston Red Sox. 21 innings at 7.29 ERA. Opponents had a 7.85 OPS. He had a 19% strikeout rate. With the Dodgers in 36 games, 36 in the third innings of work, a .74 ERA. Opponents have a 400 OPS and a 27% strikeout rate. That is incredible improvement, and that's another feather in Andrew Friedman's cap and Connor McGinnis and Dr. Mark Pryor and the powers that be within this organization. They can take these reclamation projects and find a way to have some success with them. But D-Mac Overvest, hey, thanks, Alejandro, but I like DV. He's a cool guy, man. The Dodgers will win 100 games. Dave Roberts, I be struggling. We don't want giveaways. We want chug with Doug. Hashtag. Okay, that's a bruh. You're going to get it tomorrow, I promise. A chug with Doug on Blue Heaven. Jersey. So this is some of the giveaways you want to see. Julie says, jerseys, baseball, signed okay for sure. Deluxe. No, Doug, our shortstop of the future is Bobby Witt Jr. That is from Justin Lombas. O-Dub says, I love Roberts. When we had Don Mattingly, I feel like we couldn't make it to the NLCS, and Roberts took us to the World Series 3 times in his first 4 years. What I've been saying about Dave Roberts of late, too, is everyone likes to say he's got the keys to a Ferrari, but this year, who's driving that Ferrari? It's a bunch of kids who just got their permits, right? And you can't guarantee they're going to drive it correctly, right? And he's been someone that's got the most out of these rookies. The Big Geek 014 says, I love Luxy, but Rojas has earned my trust as a defensive shortstop for next year. That ain't happening. I think Rojas, I agree with you. Rojas defensively, he's been a pleasure to watch. He's really been a joy to watch, and I've really appreciated and enjoyed it this season. But consider his age. Consider how many times he's been banged up, hamstring, calf injuries. I mean, he's someone that you want to keep on the field. And the Dodgers, they gave him an extension, that 1-year extension. And I think you want to have him as someone that can play third. They can play short and spell Gavin Lux. If Gavin Lux has an injury, a little knick-knack injury, he can fill in there. Play him at second. You also can play him at first base. Maybe you try to get Freddie Freeman, beg him to take a day off. So I think that if you want to maximize Miguel Rojas and keep him on the field, he's no spring chicken. I mean, talking about someone at that position, which is a very grueling position, especially now. I mean, he'll be 35 at the start of next season. I don't know about that as your everyday shortstop, right? And I can tell you just from my sources within this organization that they have full confidence in Gavin Lux, and they still want to see him be that long-term solution at shortstop, and that's absolutely the plan. But the dying facts on Rojas, we got the Dodgers will win 100 games. We're the 2017 champs. I'll be at the parade. Taylor, A. Lynn, B-, Muncy, C. Giants, I'm going to the parade. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Lance Lynn. So tonight, Lynn Sanity, Sir Lancelot. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, and he's really kind of gotten back on track. I mean, you're starting to see the swing and miss, 15 swing strikes tonight, and that's definitely encouraging. 6 punch outs. When he went through that rough spell, the strikeouts were down, the swing and miss was down, the efficiency was down. So at the very least, you're seeing someone that is doing what I call, he's a Pac-Man pitcher, right? He's eating innings. That is what he is best at for this team, because you're not taxing that bullpen. You're allowing these guys to set up that bullpen for success. And tonight he throws 99 pitches. And I think if there was some room for improvement tonight, for sure, you definitely want to get ahead of the count. I mean, he was 11 for 25 on first pitch strike, so that's definitely something you want to improve upon if you're Lance Lynn. But I think Lance Lynn proved tonight that, one, he's a lock to be on this postseason roster, because you need someone that you can trust that is going to be able to go out there and give up a home run, but be able to bounce back. That's not going to let the wheels fall all the way off. And I think with Lance Lynn, when you consider his strong mental fortitude, and someone who's been battle-tested, he's been through some of these postseason series, that you really have to have a guy like that. You can't go with all rookies, right? You need someone that can go up there, Clayton Kershaw, and some of these guys have some experience to really set the tone. And tonight, I think you looked at that four-seam fastball. Velocity-wise, it was right where it's been for his season averages, but you saw him mix it up. I mean, he had through the four-seam 49% of the time, cutter 19%, sinker 13%, curveball, even though it did account for one of his strikeouts, it's been down. Yeah, you look at kind of break down a little deeper some of his innings tonight, and yeah, I mean, the first inning, he got Wade Jr. to fly to left on the cutter. He struck out Yastrzemski, 3-2 pitch, one of that four-seam fastball on the outside corner. And that's the big key. When you're watching Lance Lynn, see where he's locating in the zone. If he's on the black, if he's on the edges, then he's going to be effective. If he's missing up out of the plate, he's going to have some trouble. Look at how consistent those mechanics are, and that's when you see him kind of fall off. But he allowed that single to Flores, then the 1-2 pitch. And then the 2-2 pitch, he struck out Peterson with a sinker up in the zone. So he was also elevating that fastball tonight, which definitely was a good sign, having that confidence in that sinker. Then he, top of the second, 1-out walk to Conforto. Then 3-2 pitch, he missed Conforto there, that four-seam fastball. And then he struck out Luciano looking on a four-seam fastball up in the zone. So he's going to got to work really high in the zone, really up in the zone, or down the zone, low and away. Get that chase. You just don't want to necessarily just challenge hitters out over the plate. Okay, he doesn't have that kind of stuff. For him, he has to just hit his spots. Then top of the third inning, a 2-out walk to Yaz. And then the top of the third inning, he issued a 2-out walk to Yastrzemski. Then Flores singled to left. And with runners on first and third, he walked Peterson to load the bases. Then on 2-2, he struck out Sable's swing with a four-seam fastball up in the zone. And then Jock Peterson with runners on the corners, up 1-2 in the count. He misses away with the slider, misses away with a four-seam fastball, fouls off a four-seam, then misses away with the slider. And then he walks him, and then bases loaded to Estrada at the plate. 1-0 count. He tries to lay down the bunt, and then he pops it up, and Lance Lynn did a really nice job showing that athleticism. Like Carl Rafford said, pitchers are athletes too. He makes that catch, and Clayton Kershaw, to quote him, he said that was sick. He was being mic'd up at the time. So did a really nice job getting himself out of that jam, and that's what you want to see. Guys, they can get themselves out of jam and get themselves out of tough situations. You're going to need that in the postseason. Then top of the fourth, a 1-2-3 inning, got Conforto to ground to second for the first out, struck out Luciano with a curveball for the second out. Then he gets Sable to fly to center for the third out. And then the fifth inning, Fitzgerald, he singled to center. And on that pitch, it was a mistake. It was a cutter, but it was out over the plate. When he misses with that cutter, it's going to lead to base hits. And then he's going to get himself into trouble. And next batter, Lamont Wade Jr., 1-0 pitch. He homered to center to tie things up at 2-2. But then he bounces back. He settles down, gets Yaz to pop to short, Davis to ground to second, and Peterson to ground to second for the third out. Then comes back for the sixth inning, issues that leadoff single to Estrada to left, and then Estrada was caught stealing. Want to point that out. A great defensive play by Will Smith. Perfect throw. They get the out, and then Conforto fly to left for the second out, and then 1-2 pitch. man, he was Luciano's daddy tonight. He struck him out swinging with the slider. So all in all, I thought that Lance Lynn was locating better. I think the pitch mix was more effective for where he's at right now as far as just locate that four-seam fastball, and he's going to be fine. Everything else will work off it. But as far as how they're going to use him, I think they won 5 out of him, man. I definitely think they won 4 or 5, and they want to play the matchups after that in the postseason. Now, will that be in games 3 or 4? That's pretty interesting because Lance Lynn at Dodger Stadium has been more effective. But on the same token, he also has experience. And do you want to throw someone into the fire at this for some of these young guys? That's kind of a big question. But let's go down below in the comment section. I have a question I want to ask you guys in a second here. We got to get ready for a parade if the Astros don't make the playoffs. Yeah, they've definitely kind of number 2 the bed here late. Braves 4-2 NLC. We got I haven't got my costume for Halloween yet, and I'm looking forward to buying a costume at Petco Park soon. AG the Go 26. That's a finish him.
Fire team.
ESPN broadcaster Cone seemed to throw some shade comments on our Dodgers. Interesting. What'd you pick up? Let me know down below. But a couple more here. We'll let you guys out of this one. I have a question for you guys, though. I have a question for you. Would you guys, 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. What up, Cobra Commander? We got to washing my car. Phillips didn't look like himself. That's from Bruce Davis. Yeah, I think that is another thing I want you guys to know. One thing that we learned today, one of my big takeaways, is that we need Evan Phillips to look a little more sharp heading into the postseason. And you saw him a little shaky after loading the bases. Evan Phillips did escape the jam by strikeout Mitch Haniger to end the inning. But Evan Phillips, you're seeing more hard contact of late. In higher leverage situations, he looks different than lower leverage situations. And to start that inning off, he hit Conforto, and then 2-1, Luciano singled to right to give the Giants runners on first and second with 1 out. And then Sable, he sacrificed to Evan Phillips, and that gave the Giants runners on second and third and 1 out. And on that play, I think Phillips had a play at third, but he wanted to go for the sure out. But I think you need to be advantageous. You need to try to get the lead runner there. And then Fitzgerald, he flied to right. Peralta did a really nice job hitting the cutoff man. That was for the second out. So he comes back after not going to third, gets Fitzgerald to fly to right. Like I said, nice job by Peralta there. And then they intentionally walked Wade. I think that was the right move right there. I felt like a Lamont Wade, little late night Lamont Wade moment. Then 1-2 pitch, he got Haniger swing with a sweeper on the outside corner. But that's something I'm keeping my eyes on is Evan Phillips later. The command has not been pristine. Giving up more hits of late, more hard contact. And I think if you had to take one negative from this game, he got the job done. That's the most important thing. But I definitely want to see a little more dominance from Evan Phillips right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your confidence level for Evan Phillips at the moment? Let me know down below. Is Phillips tired? That's from Victor Banos. You know, I spoke to Evan Phillips in the offseason, or actually during spring training, we had a little conversation about how his offseason routine was different this year because he knew the workload was going to be increased heading into this season. This year, he has, though, he's pretty much on track to pitch the same amount of innings. It's after tonight, 59 2/3. Last year, it was 63. But you're talking about someone that has consistently, he's done it for 1 season, can he do it for 2 seasons and beyond? So, yeah, I definitely think you look at the role, higher stress, higher leverage situations. And look, last year's ERA, a 1.14 ERA. This year, 2.15. He's still elite. There's no question about it. But the strikeout numbers have gone down a little bit. Last year was striking 11 batters per 9. This year it's at 9.7. So strikeouts have gone down a little bit, and the hard contact has gone up a little bit too. So not as great as he was last year, but I still think he's the right guy for that job. We got Dodgers, Phillies, NLCS, Cobra Commander. I feel like Muncy is looking better and better right on time too. Yeah, for sure. Defensively, he's had his issues. There's no doubt about it. But offensively, you're talking about a guy coming off a walk-off win, and he can walk it off with a single or a home run. He's got such a short stroke, and that's why I think Max Muncy, someone, is almost at just under 900 OPS, 887 OPS, for the postseason. That kind of, we talk about pitches that play off in the postseason. We talk about how gas plays up and high velocity. Well, also short strokes play up too. And the strokes of Max Muncy, shorter compact swing. He can cover a lot of pitches at the plate, and that's what they're going to need. That's what they did have last year, right? They were getting overmatched by Suarez, by Roberts, particularly Justin Turner in big situations. When Justin Turner, he couldn't hit sand if he fell off a boat in some of those high leverage moments with 100-mile-per-hour gas. He just looked overmatched. I think someone like a Max Muncy is going to really help them in that department. But I have a question for you guys. Would you guys date or marry a Giants fan? I asked Dodgers fans that earlier this year, and this is what they told me. Would you ever date a Giants fan?
Oh, no.
No. No?
No, I have standards.
Finish him.
Would you ever date or marry a Giants fan?
No, definitely not. I'm not marrying no Giants fan. I don't care who you are, never.
It just wouldn't work.
No, never.
Hell no.
Would you date a Giants fan?
No.
Would you date or marry a Giants fan?
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay, would you date or marry a Giants fan?
No. No. No, never.
Never?
Never.
How about you?
No.
Would you date or marry a Giants fan?
No.
Big
Easy.
no.
Yeah, easy.
No way, right?
Absolutely not.
Ugly colors, not happening.
I would date one, I guess. That I can break up with them.
Yeah, good point, good point.
No.
They're the hated ones.
They're the hated ones.
Done deal.
I would go down that road. I would see if I can convert, and then it would give me a pass because I've been to the ballpark up there in San Francisco. Beautiful ballpark. You know, it's kind of a free pass, so I would do it. Like, I would do it, but I would try to get her, bring her, you know, to the right side of things.
Would you ever date or marry a Giants fan?
No. No.
Easy no, right?
No.
Ugly colors.
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful. Just too many fights, right?
Hell no.
Would you ever date or marry a Giants fan?
I have, and it was a bad mistake. Didn't work out.
Do I just snap it off now? We don't talk Giants in my family. No, we don't.
So, would you guys date or marry a Giants fan? Let us know down below in the comments section. Here we go. SF Ballpark smells like fish. Hell no, from Mike Saldana. Rocio, absolutely not. That was one of my questions back when I was dating. Braves are going to choke. No one is ever marrying that kind of team of a fan. But yep, guys, this Dodgers team, we got Carl Summers, Lance Lynn on track to give up 50 home runs this year. Yeah, look, I mean, it's definitely been bad. I mean, the home runs are not good, but I think at the end of the day, you still have to say this was a strong start. He made it through 6 innings, had 6 strikeouts, and look, give him credit too for working his way around that first inning where he threw almost 40 pitches there in that first inning, and he gave him 5 hits and walked 3 total for the game. So he was able to be more efficient as the game went along, and I think that it was definitely a definite step in the right direction. He's someone that's for sure going to factor into this team's postseason plans. And also give a nice shout out too for James Outman, who hit a home run tonight. Give him some credit too. James Outman continues to really impress and really prove that he's someone who is 100% a legitimate big leaguer, someone who maybe one year could flirt with an all-star team. He hit his 22nd home run of the year. I just want to point out that I predicted that he would hit 25 home runs and have an 800 OPS. And tonight, James Outman, he's trying to make me look smart, trying to make me look like I predicted, because bottom of the second inning, after a J.D. Martinez double to left, Outman homered to right for his 22nd of the year to give the Dodgers a 2-0 lead. And they wouldn't score again until the 10th inning. So give James Outman tons and tons of credit. But the other big takeaway before we wrap things up is all the defensive gems today. That, to me, is going to be a big difference from this year to last year as well. We saw it was incredible. The performances from Mookie and Hayward and Peralta and Miguel Rojas, it was great. But how about this? Here's my stat of the night to end things. Dodgers are now 8-3 in extra innings games this season. 8-3. And they put the Giants 4.5 games back in the wild card, and they have another series coming up to end the year. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Nation Post-Game Show. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. We're going to couple more comments to end things here. We got bottom of the ninth. Give me your walk-off comments here. We got DMAC, you're making Padres fans think we are scared if they make the playoffs. No, I'm not. Absolutely not. Why would I do that? I've said I predicted the Dodgers would beat the Padres this year in the division. I predict they would beat them if they face in the NLDS. And since when do the Padres have fans? That's news to me. Last time I checked, their trophy case is emptier than the toilet paper aisles at the beginning of COVID. So, yeah, I couldn't care any less about that. D-Mac Jr., love your dad. What up, D-Mac Jr.? Hey, man, I'm about to put you to sleep right now and read you a bedtime story. JK Phillies are going to struggle with the D-back speed and get upset. We got Mike Saldana, have a good night. Jay Silva, have a good night. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. What up, Adam818? If you haven't yet, leave a like on your way out for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Thanks again. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.